Rap and Reason podcast with Dr. Jeremy C. McCool and Earl Hopkins. All right, we are back again with another episode of Rap and Reason podcast. This is episode 42. I'm one of your hosts, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool.
And I'm Earl Hopkins. What's going on?
What's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
Nothing. Much of the same, bro. Just working, grinding, man, and just, locking in on what we need to lock in on, especially this book, among other things, bro. Like, how about you? How's things been going?
Bro, same here, man. Wrapping up the semester, last week of classes, so getting this grading done. This last few days of grinding before graduation. But yeah, man, excited for this summer. Got a lot of good things coming up, especially us wrapping up this book this summer.
Yeah,
it is dope, man. Definitely looking forward to it, man. We both was out in these streets last night.
we were, bro, for a grand occasion, man. And it wasn't Cinco de Mayo. It wasn't no taco night or none of that. It was something much bigger, bro. Like,
it wasn't.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. That's probably why there was so much traffic too.
Oh, yeah, on top of that. I think there was a Phillies game, too. I could be tripping. But, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot going on last night.
Yeah, man. But we were both at the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert, the Grand National Tour in Philly last night, man. It was crazy. So I ended up getting there. I got there right on time. Like we pulled up right on time. We thought we were being early, and then we got stuck in traffic for like 2 hours. So
crazy.
Mind you, not to tell where I live, but I'm only like 20 miles from this location.
Yep.
So like I had no business. It had no business taking me 2 hours to get there. But it is ridiculous, bro. I mean, just dead end traffic. Like, but so I thought we were leaving there to get there early, but we didn't. We got there like right in enough time, like probably 10 minutes before the show started. But how about you?
The traffic wasn't as bad for me. Like I did what I would tell someone not to do for real. Well, unless they live as close as I do. So to Lincoln Financial Field, I'm probably about realistically on an average day like 12 to 15 minute drive from there. It took me about 50 minutes to get there. Not crazy, not earth shattering, but unexpected to say the least. Because I thought I was getting there like a hour and a half early just to kind of walk around, catch a vibe, whatever, you know what I mean? Grab some merch, maybe or maybe not. But like as soon as I touched down, like pretty much I was like, all right, bro, I got to get to work. So I was reviewing it. So I like to be prepared. I don't do too much. I just trying to like, get mentally locked in. But yeah, it wasn't too bad.
I forget you were there to work, so you there. You got to take notes and like
all that, bro. Shoot, my phone almost died, so that's why like I text you like mad late because I was like, bro, I got to juice up. Like otherwise, I'm losing all like type of work I could really get done once I get home to write it. So, but nah, bro, this was. Let's jump into it, bro. This is my first stadium tour. Lincoln Financial Field, for those that don't know, that's where the Philadelphia Eagles play. So massive arrangement of seating, bro. We're talking tens of thousands, maybe. I think the stadium itself probably holds around 60 to 65,000. This one was barricaded off a little bit. So how many people you think was there last night?
I would say 30 at minimum.
I
would say minimum 30 just because they had the back half blocked off because you can't see the stage from the back half. So I would say there had to be at least my guess would be at least 30,000 people.
Yeah, like I would say 30 because the one in Minneapolis was 47. I'm guessing like 40 last night.
I wouldn't be shocked, bro, because there weren't a lot of like by the time it got going, I looked around, there were not open seats. So
yeah, and it amazes me. Like concert goers amaze me, bro. Because it's literally like they'll skip all the like a lot of them will skip the opening acts like DJ Mustard, like DJ, he did like a 30-minute set, which was cool. But everybody else, they're like, until I see those lights flicker off, I'm not going nowhere. And then as soon as Kendrick touched the stage, people were just rushing, bumping me and everybody in my aisle to get to their seats, bro. Like, why wouldn't you be at your seat anyway? I don't get it. But
I don't get it either, bro. But I would say too, this is also my first stadium.
Yeah.
I am, and I was explaining this to my girlfriend too, man. I like small venues. I'm a small venue guy. Like I like going to a show that's at the House of Blues. I like going to a show that's at like the local theater just because they're more intimate and and that's why I'm really mad that I missed like when Jay-Z did his B-sides concerts in smaller venues and stuff like that because I like those. That's my bag. I like seeing. I'm not the big stadium guy, but there's certain acts that I'll go see if they're there. Like right now, the only
Yeah.
person who's left that I would probably go see at a stadium, to be honest, is probably Hove. Like
Yeah.
if Hove and Beyonce do their thing again, I'll go. Or if it's like,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. It's not too many people who are stadium type performers where I go. Maybe if Chris Brown did one or something, I might go see it. But
And I think he is doing one
you doing stadiums?
later this summer. I think he's doing a stadium. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure he's at a stadium. He's at Financial Field. I could be wrong though. But yeah.
Mm.
So that could be one. That's in like August, I think, because my man's was telling me about it. So
Mm,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, I probably will see that one. I will probably do that one. But yeah, I'm not typically it's just too many people for
Hmm.
my liking. But this one was dope,
Yeah.
bro. This one was a memorable moment, man. So let's get into it, man. First of all, what did you think about the set list? Like
So
were there
wow.
any songs that you felt like Kendrick or SZA should have performed that they didn't get into?
So that's a good question. I feel like the set list, I'll bring it back a little bit. So in preparation for reviews and everything, I always look at a set list. There's like a setlist.fm. That's where you can find any concert you want. So you kind of already know what you were expecting. So that's a nugget for y'all
Mm.
who frequent concerts a lot. You can already expect a certain list of songs from that site. So I was like, all right, cool. But at first I was like, this is a weird lineup, bro. Like it didn't like there's so many acts for those that haven't been out. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there's about 8 acts between Kendrick, SZA, and they do a few acts together. When I saw the set list, I was like, this is weird. Like I wouldn't sequence it. I wouldn't put King Kunta at the top of the
No.
concert. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put it next to this song. So I think overall, I think he performed like among my favorite joints. I think the only one I would have liked to hear, and I have a feeling he'll do it if they are performing in like somewhere in South Florida, maybe. I haven't checked the list, so I don't know, but Silent Hill, like I think that's a
Mm.
joint with Kodak. That's the only one I
Yeah.
would have wanted to hear, I think, but otherwise they play DNA Humble, you know what I mean, everything like all the major ones off Damn, like Love, um, Everything I Love. You know what? Yeah, they play N95 from Mr.
Yeah.
Morale. So I would say, bro, pretty much backseat freestyle from Good Kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
which ones do you feel like they may have missed from Kendrick's side at least?
From Kendrick's side, man, I'm gonna be honest. I think he got all of them. Now he might have did
Yeah,
it in an unorthodox ordering for sure.
for sure.
And I remember he did it like that intentionally, where you can't expect what he's gonna perform next because there was no cohesion. Like for me, it was just like he'll jump from new song to old song to like.
Yeah.
But no, I think he did all of the ones that I really would have wanted to see live. Like I
Hmm.
mean, he did DNA, he did like you said, Backseat Freestyle, he did Mad City.
Yep.
Mad City rendition he did with Anita Baker in the back was
Bruh.
crazy. With
The
Anita Baker playing
mashups
with
was
the
crazy.
doo-wop mashup, it was insane. That was
Yeah.
probably my favorite part of the show, to be honest. Like that was it
Yeah.
was just so creative. You know what I
It was
mean?
dope. The mashups. And even he did Count Me Out from Mr. Morale. And then on the back end, he did Be Don't Kill My Vibe.
Oh, that was crazy.
I was like, yo, okay. Like that wasn't something I
Yeah.
expected, but I loved it. It was a pleasant surprise for sure. Like I
Yeah.
rocked with it.
I like
Yeah.
the mashups. I thought it was dope. I thought it was unique and it really showed his skill set of being able to rap different songs over different production. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think the only thing I would have liked, I mean, just me being a long time listener of Kendrick. I mean, if he had threw one in there from Section 80, I wouldn't have been mad at it.
Nah, not
If
at
he had threw
all.
like rigor
Yeah.
mortis or something like that in there, just for the like diehard
Wow.
hip hop fans, I think it would have been smooth. Or
Yeah.
even high power or
High
something like that.
power.
I think that would have been cool. So some if you want to throw in something from Section 80, I thought it would have been cool. But other than that,
Yeah.
like everything else, nah, he got to him eventually.
He got to
Everything he
him.
I needed to hear, he got to it. He got to it at some point.
And I think like you're right though. I think he kind of randomized it. I think they're also what people don't realize. A lot of these artists are still testing the waters. Like, yeah, they've gone over, they've reviewed like this track list or set list rather like a million times before during the production, like the planning process of this tour. But like things change. And so I think he randomized it because he wanted to keep people on their toes. Because I was on my toes because I
Oh,
wasn't
absolutely.
expecting to hear King Kunta really at all. I wouldn't
No,
say not at all, but definitely not at the beginning. Like
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
expecting
expecting
it to
that
hear. I wasn't expecting to hear it at all.
at all.
And and,
Yeah,
and, and I wasn't expecting him to. one thing that, and I was talking to my girl about this too in the car. I was like, yo, one thing I gotta respect as a hip hop fan from Kendrick is that in a stadium, it would have been most artists in that type of situation would have just done their popular songs and
Yep.
just done like a piece of them. They would have did the hook,
Mm-hmm.
the verse, and then got out of there. You know what I mean? But for
Mm-hmm.
him, the fact that he took songs that weren't hits and rapped the whole thing,
The
I was
whole
like,
time.
I respect that. And he's like, you're
Yeah.
gonna listen to this song that's deep and that ain't nothing that you can't dance to. You
Yeah.
just gonna sit here and listen. And I was like, as a hip hop fan, I was like, I respect that.
I respect it. Like there was okay, so here's my critiques. Now I think about it because by all accounts, let me get the good stuff off. He's one of my favorite performers, like when it comes to music, period, because he's one of the few people that doesn't rely on a backtrack. He's going to
I didn't hear
literally
backtrack the whole time.
the whole time. He's going to rap everything.
Crazy.
And he really didn't skip a beat. I saw him at the Mr. Morale tour, and I saw him when he was performing in Austin, I believe, as well. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, and he's always been sharp. Like he's always like firm with his delivery. He's always the timing is always perfect. And yeah, like you know what I mean. Just walking around stage, naturally you lose a little bit of your breath, right? Like because it's hard to
Yeah.
keep up with a lot of these songs and a lot of these flows. But last night, bro, my man's was on his P's and Q's. Like I've never seen him perform. And I think this is my third or fourth time seeing him. So I'm
Mm,
like, yo, like this is crazy. I don't know what reps this man was getting into in
bro.
preparation for the Super Bowl at least, but it's clearly carried over to this tour. Um, what are some moments? I'll ask you, like for you, what are the highlights, or maybe what are some moments that kind of was like a small critique or a critique at all?
Um, I think just as far as staging, this is small for people, for listeners who weren't there. It's gonna be kind of hard to explain, but like I feel like there were moments where he's rapping on a part of the stage that most of the people can't see. So like when he
Uh,
rapped on the stairs that are all
mm,
the way up in the middle, like even for me, and I had a good seat. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So for me, if I'm in a good seat and I can't see you, then I know people who further back here
Mm,
can't. You know what I mean? So there were certain
yeah.
like positionings that I was like, I don't know why they put him there when nobody else can actually like see him.
Mm.
But other than that though, like I I I'm not gonna speak on it too much, but I don't listen to SZA's
I
music.
already know.
You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And so I always tell people, man, everything ain't for everybody. I'm not one of them people. I would say Earl is a little bit more of I'll listen to
Mm,
everything in different genres and I'll try to. I feel like you're even more adventurous with music than I. Certain stuff just ain't for me. You know what I
mm,
mean? And I'm not going. SZA's music isn't necessarily for me. There's some songs that I thought were cool, but I'm not her target audience. You know what I mean? So
mm,
some of those parts, of course, I definitely tuned out and I let my girl rock out. I was like, all right, you got this. I'm gonna go ahead and sit it on down. But other than that, though, man, I really don't have a lot of critiques. Like I thought the staging was crazy. I thought even SZA's like the lighting and the special effects, and
yeah,
I was
bruh.
actually shocked to see her get into her choreography bag. I didn't like
Yeah.
he was doing like full on choreography in a lot of the scenes, and I was like, oh, okay, she put some time into this show. Like,
For sure. That's all I
yeah,
kept thinking about was the preparation that went into the show. Because I'll be honest, like when I saw SZA during the Super Bowl performance and she did this move, like where she kind of like fell to the floor, like trying to be kind of sleek, and I was like, this is kind of like crazy. Like, where did this come from? You know what I'm saying? Because she's usually the person because I've seen SZA perform before too. She's like, can she dance? She can move a little bit, right? But it's mostly backup dancers, and she'll like get on a massive bird or something and float above the stage or something. Like I've seen
yeah,
I've seen her do that
wow,
at music festivals. You feel me? So for this stadium tour, I was like, I don't know, like really what she's gonna do because she's more of a like get you in your feels type of performer,
yeah,
right? Like a lot of her music talks about heartbreak and like others
hmm
don't, you know what I mean? But like it's not really set up for that, but like what she did like at the stadium tour, man, I really rocked with it. If I had to give a critique, like I really liked her set list a lot too. Obviously some songs aren't going to resonate with me, especially kind of like the acoustic type of song she does cuz I don't naturally feel like her voice really fits that. Like I don't really
yeah.
feel like her music really is resonant in that way, but I do like her versatility. I think she did some very SZA things with like having people dressed as giant praying mantises
Yo, that
and
was wild, man.
yo, she was hopped on a giant ant she called Anthony. I'm like, this is very SZA, bro. This is SZA, man.
When
So
I was
I
watching
can't
it,
knock it.
I was like, "Yo, this is different." I was like, "Yeah," but the
Yeah,
joints they performed together, man, I thought were cool. Like when
fire.
they did the 30 for 30, I thought was
Yeah,
fire. Luther, of course, they went crazy. I
crazy.
like all the joints that they did together. I thought that they had a good chemistry up there together too. Um,
Yep.
but you know
Yeah.
what? One of my critiques would be when we came up here to talk about us going to the concert. We
Mhm.
liked the idea initially of them doing the back and forth thing.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Okay. All
And,
right.
and the reason why I changed my mind is in my mind, I thought I liked, let me see, how do I say this? I thought that I would be able to float back and forth more seamlessly. But their
Mm.
music is so drastically different that I felt like it was kind of throwing me off. So I
Mm.
think to me it would have made more sense to do a SZA set, a Kendrick set, and then the set of them together instead of
Mm.
just this back
Yeah.
and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So in my mind, and I think I might have flowed a little smoother. So that's the only like critique. I think I would have probably enjoyed it more if it was in that format.
Yeah, and that's naturally how it is. But also, like, this is the most stylistically, like,
Different.
contrast. Like the artistically, like, sure, they have songs together, obviously, so they know how to come together. But like when it comes to their actual individual project, it's
Um,
so different, right?
like
Like,
I
so
deserve it
yeah.
all, and then going and performing something like SZA song, like they're very different sonically.
Different, which is ironic because some of their biggest songs, both of them, is with them featured on one another's songs. But yeah, like, and ironically, I actually think that's one of the strengths with the
Mhm.
format that you talked about is traditional. Like you have someone open and then you have someone main like headline, and then they come together towards the end, either as an encore or as part of the set list.
Right.
I kind of like the back and forth, but there were moments where I felt like SZA went on a little too long, and I think that's because I didn't go there for SZA. Respectfully, I went there for Kendrick, so I think my perspective on that front is why I may felt like that in certain spots, particularly like I think it was either
Yeah.
Act 4 or 5, but yeah, man. Otherwise, and I have to say this, bro. So is amazing a performance that I think both of them did. I will say in certain spots, bro. I'm wondering how you feel about this. I felt like because I've been to like mad concerts, as have you. Like I see spots where or moments where artists decide, yo, I'm gonna slow it down and I want people to feel me. Like I've
Yeah.
given them the hype, the hits.
Yeah.
I want to like settle it down for a little bit. I felt like I felt like it stifled the momentum a little bit when I heard Man at the Garden and Count Me Out. And I feel like it's not the songs. I want to say it was the place in which the songs were placed in the set
Yeah.
list. I think that's really my only critique, other than the Playboy Cardi song, which I actually like. I just thought like nobody knew what was going on and no
I
fan was there to hear that. Yeah.
let me tell you, count me and see. I'm opposite. When Count Me Out came, that's my one of my favorite songs on
Yes.
that project.
From the
So,
album. Yeah.
on Mr. Morale, so I was excited to hear that. But I get what you meant with placement because it was
Hmm.
where it was placed. It kind of like dropped the energy. But
Yeah.
I would say when that Playboy Cardi thing happened, I was like, I might have sat down. I don't like that song, bro. And you, and the crazy thing is Kendrick is rapping. He is going crazy
You
on
going
it, but it's just like
crazy.
I don't like the song so much that I
Hmm.
can't even get into the bag on his. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like in that moment, because I was obviously we were watching him, I felt like he was like, dang, they not rocking with this. So let me like go harder. He started looking at the crowd a little different. He was like, yeah. And they just weren't giving him nothing. And I think like that's because, yeah, one reason could be the song is fresh, but it's not that fresh. I just don't think like they were there to hear a Cardi
well,
cover.
I think it's new. It is very new, but I think that I
Is
don't think
it?
people like it like that. I mean, it came out what, 2 months ago. It ain't been that long since that song dropped. As a matter of fact, it's only been a couple months.
Let me see.
I feel like
Yeah,
people just don't like it. People
maybe.
listen to it because Playboy Cardi fans are gonna listen to whatever Playboy Cardi put out. But I feel like the
Yeah.
general music listener don't like that
Mhm.
song.
Yeah. So, and I don't think Kendrick fan like diehard, the ones that are going to pay for these type of tickets and really like make the effort, take the hour plus commute, because a lot of these fans, I mean, you know, they venturing out from South Philly, or not South Philly, but South Jersey and all that, from the suburbs and everything else along with the city. So, yeah, I don't think they came there to see a Cardi cover, like, to be honest. But
Yeah,
I was like, dang, like I'm the only one jumping to this? Like, this
that's
crazy.
because
But
you
like,
rock with
yeah,
Playboy Cardi, though. I feel like if you're not
exactly.
a Playboy
Yeah.
Cardi fan, you hearing
Yeah.
it differently.
I'm hearing it different.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I was listening to it like I was enjoying the visuals, and that's
Yeah.
one thing I got to give credit to too. Before we move on, is like
Yeah.
the visuals, even during that scene, like the black and white of them backstage going crazy, like it looks amazing. Like oh, doing
Stunning.
all of this, bro. Even with Kendrick performing "Not Like Us" with all the Black History stuff on the screen,
Yeah.
was just crazy to me. Like all of the visuals, like whoever did it, like that element of the show,
They
kudos,
killed it. And it
amazing.
was like,
This
I
is too,
wonder,
like
yeah.
both on both sides, fire.
Fire. Because I wonder if it was PG Lang, like the videographers or directors and everything. Because not only were these dope, because we've seen dope visuals. I think. Did you go to the Missy Elliott concert
No,
or
I
no?
was mad I couldn't go, man. I missed that one.
Yo, they
Next
had
time
dope
she on tour, I will
visuals.
go too. I'm going next time.
Yeah, even Usher concert, they had like
Usher's
dope
was
visuals
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
But like to me, this was like pristine. I was like, bro, this is like some A24 cinematic movie type of visuals and graphics with it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments to that point, because I know we gotta move on, is DNA. That was my favorite visual moment because it was him as a kid, like because he
Yes.
talks about like partying with his like parents and like you know what I mean as a kid with his uncles, cousins, and all that. So seeing that footage was like really special, was really dope. And you even saw the van that was on the cover of Good Kid, Mad City outside their crib, in Compton. So yeah, that was among many things, many visuals. That was like one of my favorite moments for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I think that DNA was definitely one of my, and I also have to give him credit for the. There's a lot of symbolism and stuff that he put on a lot of the visuals that I noticed that I thought was
Mhm.
dope. Like a lot of the Pharaoh stuff, a lot of the
Yeah,
indigenous stuff that he put on there, I thought was fire. Yeah, man, I think it was very, and he's very intentional about what images he put up there through what song.
yeah,
I thought that was cool to see. Yeah, no, all in all, man, dope concert. I
yeah.
would say it was the best concert of the year for me, but it's the only concert I've been to this year. So
I think it's the only one for nah, I've been to a few, but this one is at the top
last
easily.
concert I went to before this one was the Usher joint.
Hmm.
And comparing the two is like night and day, two completely different vibes. But I mean,
Yeah,
I like the Usher one more, of course, but this was still fire though.
yeah, bro.
Like if you're considering going on to see this tour, I will consider
Definitely
this
get to
is
like grab some last minute tickets, bro. They're like in some cities they may still be available for like decent price too. So I would definitely check them out.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're considering going and hitting up the Grand National Tour, man, pull up because this is not a paid ad. I had a good time.
No, I had a great time, bro. It was one of my favorite concerts probably last 5 years
Yeah.
easily. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kendrick, like I can't. Last thing he performed. Yo, I don't. He might, and I don't know. I'm sure there's some of the OG rappers who would probably compete, like Busta Rhymes and you know what I
Yeah.
mean, other artists, Method Man. But like, bro, rapped Euphoria 6 minutes straight with no
Straight.
hype man, no backtrack. And I don't. I like. I'm watching him rap this, and I'm just like, bro, people have no idea how difficult this is.
At
Like to
all.
rap for that long, that fast,
Yeah.
and be actually where people can hear you like clearly.
Yeah.
It's impressive, bro. Like Kendrick might be
Whew.
probably he definitely I'm not gonna say might. He's one of the best live performers, especially in hip hop ever. Like
Ever.
it's insane.
Yeah.
Probably, and then like I said, there's some people who can compete like him, Busta. I'm sure
Yes.
Ludacris. There's some other ones who are
Yeah.
fire live, like who when you hear them, you're like, wow, I get this.
Hmm.
Like, when I saw Ludacris live, I was like that. Like Ludacris is so great at enunciating. Like, you hear every word
The
Ludacris.
diction, everything, bro. You hear it, everything.
Amazing performer. Like it's Method Man, Red Man, same thing. Like so, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kendrick. Shout out SZA, man. Definitely amazing concert for sure.
Absolutely. And on that note too, bro, like you kind of like highlighted something that could bleed into the other topic. One thing I noticed with this show and just with this moment is This man did not let the 1 year anniversary of this grudge match between him and Drake. He didn't leave that behind, bro. It seemed like any jab, especially during the skits of the show, bro, like the deposition skits and everything else, bro. He did not let that moment go
Not
past.
at all.
And even before he dropped
The
that
drop,
bomb, that
drop, drop one was crazy.
come on, man. Before he played Not Like Us, he did the drop joint. So he knew what type of moment this was going into, like the concert itself, but especially this 1 year anniversary, bro. So I was watching well, actually, let's just go into it. Like looking back a year's time, bro. How do you still feel like, or how do you feel about the beef? How would you rank this among other rap beefs within hip hop? Like that's something I've been thinking about lately.
Um, I rate this up there pretty high.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick, I think Kendrick, this is one of the worst spankings I've seen in a long,
Woo! This is different.
probably ever.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like this is probably one of the worst ever. I think that this was bad. You know what I mean? I think Kendrick's run of disc records is probably the best rollout of disc records I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they aged well. They still are fire. Even a year later, I think they're still dope. Especially Euphoria,
Yeah,
especially
man.
Not Like Us. Even 616, like hard. Like
Yeah.
I went back to that a few months ago and was like, yo, I forgot how good this was.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, man. I don't know. I think that he's I think that Kendrick really he really cemented himself amongst the greats. The only ones I could think of, I will say I hesitate to call it the best rap battle ever in hip hop just
Mm.
because I don't think that Drake performed that well. I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
Mm.
So like usually when I would say best back and forth, that means both parties got to be going crazy. Like when I say Jay-Z and Nas, I both of their diss records are good.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
Takeover is fire. Like of course most people would say that Ether won, but Takeover is fire.
I actually listen to Takeover far more than I listen to Ether, and I
Same.
can still see like, yeah, Nas, he got that, but like Takeover is a great song.
Takeover is just
Yeah.
a great song in general. So I think to me that one is still up there.
Mhm.
High. I got a whole list of favorite disc records. We could probably do that another time. One
Yeah.
of them, Jadakiss got one of my favorite disc records ever.
Oh yeah, I heard that joint.
Checkmate, man. If y'all never heard him if y'all want to hear somebody diss 50 Cent, I think Jadakiss did it the best. Um,
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. But I think all in all, this is gonna go down as definitely one of the most historic for sure.
for sure. I think you're right. I agree. I don't know if I'm placing it at one. That's kind of tough for me, dog. A lot of people don't talk about because I know like they repair their relationship at the end, but like when I was a kid, like I was locked in on Eazy-E and Dr. Dre's beef, like musically
Facts,
too. And I was like, yo,
facts.
Dre Day and like the other joint.
Yeah, that
I
one
was
was
like,
crazy. No, that one was crazy.
this is crazy. Like
Because
music
then
is
you got
crazy.
Ice Cube, NWA,
Yeah, bro. Like
you got No
so,
Vaseline and all that. Crazy.
man. And
Um,
so there's a lot of so I don't know where I place it, but it's near the top for me for
yeah,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
not one for me. I can't give it that yet, but it's
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, and who knows? Like, if I look back, if I really sit down and because I'm sure we'll compile the best disc records list like soon too, so maybe we can look into that. But, um, nah, looking back, bro, like this is like you're right. This is the craziest spanking I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like, and I think this tour is like somewhat of a victory lap because
A stadium victory lap is
a
crazy.
stadium victory lap, an international one because they're going to Europe too. Listen, bro. This is why it's even worse because he's doing the skits and everything else. He's performing these songs obviously in full. He's not letting his foot off this gas at all. But also, the opening show of this tour is the highest grossing single concert of all time.
Salute, man. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Brother, so if you said, like, because I know the argument going into the beef a year ago, Kendrick needs Drake. Like he's not the type of mainstream act. He doesn't sell in the same way. It's like
Mhm.
not only did this man with in nearly a year after the song dropped, like Not Like Us dropped, he performed at the Super Bowl, it's the most watched Super Bowl of all time, and then a couple months later has the biggest opening concert or single revenue earning concert in hip hop history, and Drake is considered a hip hop artist by many, like
Yeah, nah, bro.
we can't have the same arguments now. Like, so
No, not at
yeah,
all. Not at all, bro. I
yeah,
think this is different. Like this is one of like yeah, going this is gonna go down as one of the worst spankings. One of the worst
yeah.
spankings ever, bro. Because it was so strategic, it was so calculated,
Mm.
and it was the bars and the strategy in which he was able to break down. And the crazy thing is we've seen Drake. I hate to say this, but I feel like people give Drake a lot of credit for his rap battle history, but
Yeah,
really he really only beat Meek Mill,
yeah,
and it really was more so because of a lack of response from Meek Mill for a period. You know what I mean?
mm.
But other than that, I mean, Pusha was another spanking.
Yeah,
I'm not forgetting that Pusha spanking. I don't care.
yeah,
People
yeah.
try to act like that didn't happen, but that was bad.
Mm.
Let me tell you something now.
It's pretty bad,
That one
bro.
was pretty bad. And then
Yeah.
he avoided the Common spanking. People forget that too.
I thought, wait, what
Common
did
put out a
Common
diss
do?
record about Drake. He never
Wow.
responded, and it was
He
fire.
didn't respond. He responded with a line. I don't know if it was directly. It was stay scheming,
Hey,
but like,
scheming. That's what made Common. That's what made Common make a whole diss record.
so bro avoided it with a
Yeah,
wow.
I guess they pieced it up. But Common
Okay.
Common responded and rapped over "Stay Scheming" and directly at Drake.
Dang, I didn't know that. Okay.
Now listen to look.
Yeah.
Whenever you get off of this, listen to Common's
Yeah.
"Stay Scheming" remix.
Bruh, crazy. And like
It,
there's an interview with Drake out where he talks about, I think it was Angie Martinez. It's like, and people keep re-uploading this moment where he's talking about, like, Angie brings up, I would love to see you and Kendrick kind of spar like lyrically. And he's like, you don't want to see that. Like,
which is
boy,
crazy.
has that not aged like milk, brother.
And see that's gonna bring us to our next topic, bro. And,
Yeah.
and this is something that to me is silly, but you know why I think this is silly. You
Silly,
already know.
man. Hmm.
So there was recently a debate online between DJ Head and Maul. DJ Head is a West Coast DJ, also radio personality.
Hmm.
Um, and Maul, for those who aren't familiar with Maul, Maul was formerly on the Joe Budden podcast. He now has his own podcast called Rory and Maul podcast.
Yeah.
Rory,
Hmm.
Rory and Maul. And they had a debate. Of course, DJ Head being an affiliate of TD and Kendrick Lamar, Maul being an affiliate of, I guess, OVO, Drake. Um,
Yeah, he's compromised, bro. I ain't
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Wild debate. I couldn't even make it sit through the whole thing. It was just awkward. But I turned it off after like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool on this discussion. But
Mm.
you did put in one thing in here in the notes, which is, and I heard this topic come up, which is
Yeah.
Maul argued that Drake had the better actual bars, that Kendrick was more strategic, but Drake actually rapped better on his diss records. Do you agree?
Not at all.
I don't even think it's
It's an
close.
easy answer.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest, bro. That's
Mm.
such a wild take.
Yeah. Nah,
Like
that's
it's such a
wild.
wild take because to me, and I'm gonna be real. The only song of Drake's that I think was a good diss record was Family Matters.
It was great. Family Matters
Family
is pretty
Matters is
good.
has some points in there that made me actually laugh.
Yeah.
Like when I listened to it, I remember being like, "Oh, this is funny." Like there was a
Yeah.
couple lines in there that I
Mm.
was like, "This is actually funny." Like these are funny
Mm.
funny jabs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only one. But even that song isn't lyrically crazy. And the parts on there that are really lyrically crazy
Mm.
aren't about Kendrick.
They're not about Kendrick at
Now
all.
he went lyrically crazy on ASAP
Yep, he did.
and on the weekend.
Yeah.
He's put all his lyricism into them two. Like,
Yeah.
but the parts about Kendrick were like more just funny little witty little lines, but it wasn't really like lyrical. So I don't
Mm-mm.
know. I don't know what people how he thinks that he rapped better. I don't
I don't
because
get that.
there's nothing Drake said that was lyrically better than Euphoria.
Not no, and that's my whole point. Like, let's just call it what it is. Drake has never been considered even in the same realm when
Now
it
you
comes
was
to lyricism as Kendrick.
now you was about to look. I wasn't even gonna go there, but Drake I've never
No.
even put him in the same breath of a lyricist as a Kendrick Lamar.
Anybody
Not
that does
even
that is
close.
a fool.
Not even
Yeah.
close. And do I think Drake has some bars and some songs that
For
he goes crazy?
sure.
Sure, but like
Mhm.
it's not even the same type of lyricism. Like
Mm-mm.
it would almost be like it's like comparing a Eminem lyricist to like a Young Jeezy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like
I
or
see
Rick
what you're going.
or even like a Rick Ross. And so I love Rick Ross music, but
Yeah,
that's
we
saying
love
like a Rick.
Jeezy.
That's like taking a Rick. I love Jeezy too. That's like taking a Rick Ross or a Jeezy and then comparing them to I'm trying to like Redman. Like it just doesn't even
Yeah.
compute. It's like they're not even doing the same type of
Nah.
thing. Like they can rap.
Right. And they
I
got
listen to Jeezy
bars.
and Rick Ross a lot, and I love how they rap, and I think their rapping fits their style, but
Yeah.
they're not a lyricist at the same caliber as.
Nah.
That's how I feel
Mm-mm.
when people talk about Drake being a lyricist and Kendrick. Like they're not even on the same.
Yeah. And I think the dividing line is that those people you name are wordsmiths. Like those are
Right.
lyricists. And
Correct.
technically they're like crazy, like talented. Whereas like other people may not be at the same caliber lyrically, but they're better song makers
They're,
sometimes.
they're better song makers.
Yeah.
They they are able to make simplistic lines that resonate with people.
Right.
Like Rick
Mhm.
Ross has a simplistic rap style, but he's mastered it.
Exactly. And
So
he
that's
has
why he has songs
charisma.
that I love. Like I could listen to Teflon. I live in Teflon Down a lot. That's one of my favorite Rick Ross albums. But that
Yeah.
album, like a lot of the rhymes are simplistic, but at the
Mhm.
same time, the lyrics still hit you. Same
Facts.
thing with like a Jeezy. Same thing with
Mhm.
like and I think Drake typically raps very simplistic.
Mhm.
There's a punchline here and there, but it's not. He's not doing what Kendrick is doing. He's not telling
Nah.
these intricate stories and with all of this wordplay and all of these triple
Mm-mm.
entendres and he's not. They're not even doing. They're not on the same playing field, bro. Like and
Exactly.
anybody who any hip hop fan, like any I don't want to say pure hip hop purist, but anybody who
Yeah.
really is into hip hop knows this.
Exactly. And so like when it comes to them doing those exchanges a year ago, like with the beef, nah, bro, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting from Drake's side to do what Family Matters did, which was get a few lines off. Were my
Yeah,
expectations higher though? Absolutely. And I don't feel like he met that mark because he wasn't saying nothing to me that was really super resonant. But I do enjoy listening to Family Matters. I think that's the best diss that he had. I think push-ups, bro, wasn't as focused on Kendrick. Like he was kind of like, in fairness, he was going at like 14 different people, which is like something that's a heavy task for anybody.
that was his mistake. He shouldn't have done that.
And I agree. Like, why not? Because if you're gonna like slay the monster, why go at the henchman?
You could he
You know
could
what I'm saying?
you throw them a little subliminal later on or something, but I don't
Yeah.
think they deserve the full responses.
Exactly. So I think
Um,
he should have like hit them like you know what I mean, cut the person off lyrically at the head, worry about the like other things a little later. And I think that's why like I don't think push-ups, while I think it's an enjoyable song to listen to, I don't think it's a great diss record for that
yeah.
reason. Because 16, bro, when it lyrically, bro,
Oh my
that's
God.
better than half the stuff that Drake even attempted to say about Kendrick.
Well, I
Let
don't,
alone Euphoria.
bro. Like even on the rank of disses, just as far as like, I'll put Family Matters is probably third on
I
that.
was about to say it's third for me. Yeah.
It's Euphoria, Not Like Us, and then I put in whichever order. Not Like Us, Euphoria, Euphoria, Not Like
Mhm.
Us, depending on how you know what I mean, how what I'm ranking it by. But and then Family Matters. Cause like I said, Family Matters was funny to me,
Yeah.
and
It
I
was
gave him
funny.
credit for that. And his
Yeah.
stuff that he said about the weekend was hilarious, and the
It
stuff
was
he said about
hilarious.
ASAP was hilarious. Almost all it was just funny. I'm gonna be honest, it was funny.
Yeah.
That one was that was hilarious.
And I think the
But
attempt,
that's the one that got him spanked.
yeah. And I think the attempt to like with the video too, with like getting like the van that kind of looked like the Good Kid, Mad City van, and then bringing it to like whatever, and then where they destroyed it. great idea, but they got the wrong car. So like that part I thought was hilarious, except he ain't even do it the right way. So
Yeah,
there was a
and
lot of misfires in that sense. And then, bro, we didn't even talk about this. We didn't even talk about bro's response to not like us, Drake's response to not like us, which was just like a no, I didn't do this. It was just like a
and
come
boy,
on.
that was a white flag. That was a please don't talk
Yeah.
about me no more. Let's just wrap
Yeah.
this on up, man.
So to me, that was the weakest moment of the whole situation that nobody like. It's almost like people forgot about that moment. But that's like to me, Jay-Z's super ugly freestyle after Ether came out.
Yeah,
It's like people don't want to bring it up because it just didn't make much of a dent. It was kind of just like,
nah,
why did you even do it? Just kind of take your licks and then like move on. You know what I mean? I feel like Drake should have did the same thing.
yeah,
But
yeah. You should. He should have just stop, just stop, man. And now the lawsuits make it look even crazier.
we didn't
Um,
we didn't even bring that
we
one
ain't
up in
even
the
get into
combo.
that. That's a whole nother topic. But
Yeah.
like the fact that you sued after this is just it
Wild.
wild, man. But yeah, yeah. No, that a year later, it's crazy that that's been a year.
It is crazy.
It's
And
crazy that
people,
a year has gone since this rap beef happened because it don't. It seemed like it was 2 months ago,
yeah,
but at the same time, like yeah, no, nothing has changed in my view of this. Drake still got spanked badly. Like
and
I don't
it's
even know how
me,
this is
yeah,
being debated. To be
and it's
honest.
getting worse. I feel like it's getting it's getting worse as
It's,
bro is seeking more legal action.
and
It's
it's bro,
crazy.
well, and you got somebody going around on stadium still performing these songs, bro. And people was,
It's
and you saw the energy in that room when Not Like Us came on. It was crazy. It's still like the song just came out.
like that's the beauty of it, bro. People were screaming A minor like it had just came out last Friday, bro. Like it's insane. Like this is
Even
a
how
cultural
hype people
moment.
were
Yeah.
for Euphoria. Like I was,
Yeah, that
oh
too. Yeah. It's crazy, bro. Like obviously it's a
yeah,
Kendrick concert, they're gonna be amped, but like even the SZA fans that made it to the building, they were like, we seen the whole country do it, like at Super Bowl. So it's like it's different levels, man. Like it's
yeah, bro,
crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy.
bro. Shout out Dot for letting us witness that. I'm gonna be honest, man.
Yeah, man. That was
Yeah.
wild.
Wow, 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 wow.
Mhm.
Also, man, we gotta announce something else. LL Cool J announced as Wawa. Is it Wawa Festival?
Nah, so it's Wawa Welcome America July 4th concert. A little long of a name, but
Okay.
he just got announced along with Jasmine Sullivan, who I think is going to do an amazing job.
Mm.
LL Cool J is headlining it with our own Philly's own R&B star. So yeah, bro, that should be interesting. I don't know. Have you been to Wawa Welcome like July 4th?
No,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't know it was a thing until right now.
Bro, so it's the biggest single, I think, July 4th, like fireworks celebration in the country.
Okay.
And so they do like it's usually like 1 week, but they extended it, I think, over the years. But it's 16 days of free events in to commemorate like the country's birthday essentially on July
Mm.
4th. So the concert free as well, obviously. It's kind of just to set it all off. So yeah, I
Nice.
think last year it was Kesha and Neo. I think Ludacris performed like a couple years back. I could be wrong, but yeah. So, how do you feel about like LL Cool J? He just dropped the album The Force like a year ago. We reviewed that on the pod as well. But how do you feel about him headlining?
Dope, bro. LL's a legend. Legend,
Legend.
legend, bro. We don't hip hop doesn't even come close to becoming what it is right now without LL Cool J. So I love to see
Yeah.
LL Cool J outside still performing. He's still in shape. He in better shape than me. I'm be honest, bro.
Same, brother.
Bro get more muscles every time I see him. I'm like, bro, you gotta chill. Like
Yeah.
you gotta chill, man. But no, bro, I love it. I think that it's dope to see him outside performing and getting honored in this way and still doing his thing, man. And he got a lot of hits. So it
Yeah.
makes sense, bro. Like for me, my favorite LL Cool J song is "Rock the Bells." So as long as
Oh, for sure.
I need him to get that one off. That's the one for me. So if he do "Rock the Bells," Mama said "Knock You Out."
Yeah, man. That's the one for me.
I'm cool. I'm cool as long as you perform those two joints. I'm a LL Cool J and like most guys probably. I like the harder songs. I'm not the LL Cool J
Yeah.
girl song guy. You know what I mean? I feel like LL Cool J was very intentional. These are the songs for the guys, and these are the songs
Yeah.
for the girls. Like,
Yeah.
so and which is dope. So I'm sure he's gonna do both. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
Nah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be dope. I mean, obviously we're younger, we're on the younger side, so like I didn't grow up in LL's prime necessarily.
Oh
Um,
no,
I, you know what I mean? I do
neither one of us
remember.
did, bro. We both look.
Yeah,
We both '90s babies. Like we ain't no
yeah,
born
nah.
in the '90s. We nah.
Nah, like the era of LL Cool J that I know, he was still taking his shirt off and licking his lips. What's that joint?
you
What's
talk
that
you
joint?
you talking about you're not
Head
talking
sprung.
about Ed
Yeah,
Sprung. Yeah, that's yeah. We saw that LL. We didn't get to
yeah,
live through LL when he was LL like '80s.
yeah.
That's '80s. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
people don't realize LL is really like the first rap superstar.
Exactly. He's
Solo
the first
artist,
one.
solo,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the first star, like in commercials, like
Hmm.
the guy. You know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah,
Run DMC, but that's a group. You know what I mean? So as a solo artist, it really
yeah,
was
bro.
Cool J who held it down, man, and did it with pride and never really compromised. You know what I mean? So
He never compromised. And mind you, he was like 16 doing this in the Kango with the
facts.
boombox and like just killing it, bro. And like I heard a conversation with him and he was like, yo, Def Jam, what it is, then and to now, it's really built off my back. Like
Absolutely
he just
facts.
acknowledged that. And you can't really disagree with the man.
Facts.
You can't.
He was Def Jam.
Yeah.
Like Def Jam identity was built off of LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was their credibility. That's what got them recognized was the fact that this is attached to LL Cool J. He wearing the Def Jam jacket. He's what I mean, rocking it with pride. Like, yeah, I completely agree.
No, I agree, bro.
Yeah,
And the fact like people look at him, he didn't turn to acting. He's done other things, right? Like he's expanded as many do around his age range that still love music, right? Like they get into acting. Like Snoop is everywhere, for example. But yet and still, bro, people gotta respect his skill. So I know we came away with that with kind of like somewhat mixed reviews, if I recall correctly, but there were still moments where we were like, yo, like this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
shout out to LL, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out LL Cool J, man, living legend. You know what I mean? And we
mm,
need to address them accordingly, bro. They built this whole thing that we call hip hop. Like they made it what it is now. Pioneers,
yeah.
and LL
Pioneers.
is definitely one of them, man. Shout out to LL Cool J, man. And this is a wild transition. We're going from LL
Wild.
Cool J to Key Glock. You feel me?
Yeah.
Wild transition, but man, last week we talked about some of the favorite artists that we have for the gym. And I mentioned Key Glock being one of mine. And it just
Yes.
so happened that last week Key Glock actually released a new project. Now, those who do not know, Key Glock is a Memphis rapper. Um, Actually was discovered and really put into the forefront by Young Dolph, another rapper who
Yeah.
I rock with heavy.
Mhm.
I believe they're cousins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Cousins. Yep.
Cousins, and yeah, man, Key Glock released a project called Glockaveli.
Yes.
Everybody who those who do not know where that's probably a reference to Machiavelli by Tupac.
Mhm.
Um, the first full project I listened to, I don't know if you've ever listened to any projects by Key Glock. I discovered him from his collabs that he did with Dolph, the Dumb and
Yeah.
Dumber
Hmm.
joints. My first time listening to a full project of his was the Yellow Tape.
Yep. Same.
Um, yeah, and I liked it, and I think that was my introduction to a full project of Key Glocks.
Hmm.
And for me, Key Glock is in the same category of my on my playlist as 21 Savage. When I am in the mood to listen to violent music, typically it's in the gym. That's
Yeah.
typically when I want to. That's probably the only time I really want to hear murder, murder, kill, kill, slide on ops, all that.
All that.
Typically, that ain't my vibe.
Same.
I'm just not in the mood to typically listen to that. That's me.
Hmm.
But in the gym, that's what we on.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the car, depending on my mood, that's what I'm on.
Yeah,
But
man. Get
but
violent with
definitely,
the weights. Yeah.
yeah, man. So and I feel like they're in the same category to me.
Hmm.
When it's Key Glock, and that's his peer to me,
Yeah.
music.
I think that's a good comp. I think more I favorite 21 because I feel like he has a lot more depth. Like when he actually digs deep, like and
I can
talks
see that.
about like his upbringing, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think Key Glock is what you see is what you get. And for some people, that's like a great thing because they're not really trying, relive or reimagine certain things. So I think it works on that front. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that the only time I've really heard Key Glock really go a little bit deeper
Hmm.
has been on the songs that he made about Dolph.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where I've heard Key Glock really be able to shine um is on the songs after Dolph passed. Unfortunately, for those who do not know,
Mm,
there was a joint that Key Glock put out called "Proud" after
mm,
Dolph had died that was really deep and emotional like that. So I
yeah,
think that those are the only time I would like to see him go more in depth. And as we review this album, that's definitely my criticism of it. I think that the positive of it is I think there's some fire samples on here.
for sure.
I think
Like, oh
some don't
wow,
hit, but the ones that hit.
they hit, bro. They
Like,
hit.
and I that is one thing that I thought was different. It's almost like he took a page off of Big X the Plugs last fight,
Yeah.
where Big X the
Mm,
Plugs did these like obvious samples that's like really recognizable that you hear, and you're
hmm.
like, oh, you sampling that, and
Yeah.
then kind of flips it. That's kind of the same style that Key Glock took on this project, where
Mm,
each song has this like big sample that you're familiar with.
hmm.
Yeah, man, and I thought it was dope. The ones that stood out to me, Glockaveli being one,
Yep.
that I really liked. Another one that I really rocked with being Watch the Throne. Made Away being another
Yep.
one that I really like. Badu. I
Yeah.
love that Badu, the Erica Badu flip on there was hard. Um, I'm getting it. World is Ours. Yeah, so there's some few songs on here that stood
Yeah.
out to me. Those are the ones that stood out to me the most. I didn't care for the intro much.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I really wish he had flipped Glockaveli being number one, and then Hallelujah could have been number two. I really didn't like Hallelujah, or taking it off.
I
But
would take it off
yeah,
personally.
I really
Yeah.
didn't like. I didn't like the Hallelujah sample. It just was throwing me
Hmm.
off.
Hmm.
Um, but but other than that, man, there's some hard songs on here. For me, there's definitely some skippable ones, but the ones that are fire, they're getting added to the playlist.
Oh, for sure. Like I think even Blue Devil,
Blue
I would
Devil was
add that
another
to
one.
the last. Another
Yeah.
one I like that I really shouldn't like for real is She Ready. I just love the
I like
production on
that one
that.
too.
Yeah.
And when it started, I didn't think you know me. That's usually when rappers try to get in the freaky bag. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
But that one
Yeah.
was fire. I
It
remember
was
playing that one
fire,
in the car
bruh.
and being like, nah, this one is hard. He did it right.
No, for sure. I think it was the production. A lot of these, like, it's production based because Key Glock can flow on a lot of these records, and so that's to his credit, right? Like he's able
Yeah.
to float on these joints.
And
And
my
I
my,
think,
my, my
oh,
girl was
yeah.
in the car vibing to that one when it was on too. And I felt like that made me
See,
like I looked over and was like, oh, okay, this the one.
this the one then. Like, and I feel
Yeah.
like there was a couple of them joints. I like Paper Cuts as well.
Yeah, that's another good one.
One song I'm still like on the fence about is the Grinch, only because like I feel
Yeah,
like the concept, I don't know, but
yeah, the concept was the beat was hard, but I
it's
was like,
hard.
I'm not. So I got to listen to it a couple more times and see if I like it or not.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I was on the fence about She Ready because She Ready Spaghetti. Like I'm like, bro, what?
I said the same thing. I laughed when I heard it. When I heard Ready
Mm,
Spaghetti, I laughed. It was like, what?
what, bro? But
But the
like
sample on there is crazy.
it's insane, bro. Like a lot
Yeah.
of these beats are just insane. Like and for those that don't know, I interviewed Key Glock for this album, and so he talked about a lot of producers. He works with the same producers as he did on his, glaucoma, like the yellow
Mm.
tape series that he has and everything else. So he pretty much stayed with the same team. And so like that's why I think a lot of Key Glock fans will really resonate with this album, maybe even more than I did, right?
Yeah,
So I think like, yeah, I agree with you. A lot of these like I'm adding to the playlist. A lot of these I'll probably skip around, bounce around on the project. But I think overall, if you're a Glock fan, like this is what you expect from Glock. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
it does have some hustler motivational like anthems
Facts.
on here, and I think if you're looking for that, you'll find it here.
I
Yeah,
100% agree. I think if you're looking for some hustle, go get the money type of music. And like I
yeah.
said, there are moments where I like that type of music.
Hmm.
Especially sometimes in the morning when I need to wake up and I need that, you know what I mean, motivation to go up and get up and get
For
it. I feel
sure.
like that's the type of music I gravitate to. And then, like I said, in the gym, and I think that this is that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? My only critique would be my critique with most people is I would like to hear a little more depth, a little more
Hmm.
storytelling. Let's hear a little bit more about you outside of, you know what I mean, I'm getting money and you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
a little bit more. You know what
Because
I
he
mean?
mentions Dolph, like, which is a big part of his
Does.
story. Like, obviously, that's his cousin. He's still like, because Key Glock signed with Republic Records, like in a partnership, but he's still PRE. For those that don't know, that's Paper Route Empire. That's what
Absolutely.
Young Dolph started. So he's very connected, obviously, to him, and he mentions him in fragments on this album. But again, like, I wish he dug a little deeper. I think on Blue Devil, he mentions like, I got blue diamonds, don't it remind you of Dolph? Like that
Yeah.
stuff is cool, but like you, I wish he dug a little deeper for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I just want to hear, and the reason why I want to hear more is because I think not Dolph, Key Glock has a very, like Dolph did though, a very unique sound.
Yeah.
And he,
Yeah.
like, you, as soon as you hear Key Glock, you know it's him. It's a very unique
Absolutely.
rap style. It's a very unique voice, and I think that I feel like him going deeper into talking about his life, his upbringing, all of that. I feel like it'll take him to that next level.
For sure.
If he keeps doing this, it's gonna be great. He's gonna stay where he is, which is
Yeah.
lit, performing, touring, all that. But I feel like that, just him diving a little more in depth about
Yeah.
his upbringing and going a little more transparent, I feel like that's just gonna take him to a whole nother plane as an artist.
Absolutely. And he's talked about that, like making a bigger mainstream splash. And I think by doing exactly that, it'll happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1000%. So yeah, man. Shout out Key Glock, man. Yeah, man. Get you a couple of these is getting added to the playlist. Already
Oh,
been added to the playlist.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, man. Another thing, man, when we're talking about Memphis,
Yes.
ranking Memphis rappers. Now,
This
for
is a
me,
great hip hop city too. People act like it's not. I don't know why.
well, I don't know why either. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't know why people don't give Memphis the credit they deserve in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis deserves a lot of credit when it comes to not just hip hop, but blues as well. But I feel
Yes.
like people don't give Memphis the credit that it deserves for hip hop. There have been some hip hop legends that have come out of it. And that's why I almost want to change this from being current ones to of all time.
Okay.
Just because I'm gonna be honest, I don't listen to a lot of new Memphis. It's only like three new Memphis rappers I listen to. So I feel like it's not
Mm-hmm.
as many, but I'm gonna pull up a list of Memphis rappers just to make sure I don't miss anybody.
Yeah.
Um, but let's talk. We want to talk about who we have as the top of the totem pole when it comes to Memphis rappers. Off the top of my head,
Mm-hmm.
3 6 Mafia has to be.
Absolutely.
I can't talk about Memphis rap and not talk about 3 6 Mafia.
You can't. It's
Not as
impossible.
some people aren't as familiar with 3 6, man. If you aren't, get familiar when you stay fly, all of that.
Come on, man. They won an Oscar,
They
bro.
made all the songs that I was singing in grade school that I had no business singing. They made all the music that I would get in trouble for singing.
Bro, I was singing Whoop That Trick at what, 7?
Bro, you should. Bro, in fifth grade, we was going around learning "Slob on My Knob," which we had no business singing that song. I didn't even know what the song was about, but we just knew we wasn't supposed to be saying it, so we want to learn
Bro,
it.
wild. Wild.
Wild, wild. But 3 6 Mafia is definitely, to me, you can't talk about Memphis rap and not talk about 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah,
They influence so much sonically. They really kind of stamped what that Memphis sound was. Between them and Project Pat, another one that I'm gonna throw in here as
for
well.
sure.
They
Hmm.
kind of cemented what that Memphis sound would be, and even Juicy J on the production for 3 6 Mafia too. Like,
Stupid.
they really helped cement the sound of Memphis rap and what that would become. So you can't even talk about Memphis rap to me without
You
3 6.
can't. And I'll
Or
add this nugget too, real quick.
yeah,
DJ Paul, and they still like their influence still resonant now because
the
DJ
active.
Paul produced on Key Glock's album.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even
Th
realize that.
3 a.m. in Tokyo. He produced that.
Okay, nice.
Crazy.
Yeah, and Juicy J and DJ Paul are still producing, they still active, like,
Hmm.
and they've influenced so much, and they're sampled all the time.
All the time.
All the time. So do your homework on 3 6 Mafia. Definitely influential. The next up, Project Pat, man.
Yeah.
I am somebody who really loves Project Pat. Project Pat has a very distinct sound. And to me, Project Pat also has a certified classic album.
Mm.
Mr. Don't Play is, let me tell you, have you heard that album?
Yeah.
Whoa. that album to me is I love that album. And to me, that album is one of those ones where I'm talking about where even though it's about all of the superficial stuff, there are still
Yeah.
even introspective songs on there where
Hmm.
it's like, he gonna give you the chicken head and all that crazy, all the crazy stuff,
Yeah.
but then he's gonna give you a more introspective song on there as well, like with "Life We Live." Which is one of my favorite Project Pat songs. If you have never heard Project Pat, I suggest listening to "Life We Live" to kind of get a sense of him as an artist. But yo, definitely Project Pat, another one got to talk about. Who else you want to? We got to throw in for me. I'm a Dolph guy.
Yeah.
I'm always
I would throw in Dolph.
I'm always gonna throw in Dolph. To me, man, I discovered Dolph musically when I first heard Preach.
Yep.
And when I first heard that, I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, he went stupid.
Actually, I might have heard him on Cut It before Preach.
Oh,
I don't,
snap. Yeah.
I don't
I
remember
think
which
Preach
one
was
came
the
out.
first from yeah, that's kind of tough. The timeline is throwing me off.
Yeah, the
But I
timeline
hear
threw me
you
off. I
though.
can't remember which one
Yeah.
came out first, but it was in that range where I first heard it.
Hmm.
And ever since then, I always been locked in with Dolph's music. I always, when he dropped, I would always listen and check it out and find songs I would rock with on there. So to me, Dolph is on there too. Who else you got on there?
Shoot, I got Yo Gotti on there.
Okay,
I got Yo Gotti on there.
yep, absolutely. Yo, Gotti been around for a long time too.
He has. People don't realize how not to put his age out there. Bro is old. Like he's been around for in the mix. He's been in the mix for a long time. And I respect Yo Gotti because that was really the first, I would say, Memphis artist outside of 3 6 Mafia Project Pet that I really resonated with like growing up because he was on
Mm,
5 Star. He had 5 Star Chick with Nicki Minaj and all that. He has a more than a few records, you know what I mean? That I
yeah,
was really tapping into. But my big sister put me on the Yo Gotti and I really been locked in on bro ever since. And plus, as an A&R, as like a seeker
yeah.
of talent, bro, he has an eye really like no other in Memphis, to be honest. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I didn't discover his music until later. Like
Hmm.
I was way later on Yo Gotti's music, but definitely like even as far as the artists he signed, like he's really helped create that next generation with the Glorillaz, with what I mean.
Yeah.
What's my boy name?
Black Youngster,
No, not yeah, Black Youngster. What's the
Moneybag Yo.
Moneybag Yo is the one I was thinking of, but yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Now this is one we definitely ain't leaving out. 8 Ball and MJG.
Oh, snap.
8 Ball and MJG.
Mm.
For those who are not familiar with 8 Ball and MJG, pioneers of Memphis rap. Also, you don't get Memphis rap or Memphis rap sound without 8 Ball and
Mm.
MJG. Legends, just legend. And you probably know. And for those who don't know 8 Ball and MJG, you probably know some of their music, and you didn't even realize it
Yeah,
was
I might
them.
be in that mix because I've never even heard the name. I'm gonna be honest. My first time.
I'm gonna say the one that you probably know. You probably know, and it's crazy because this isn't even their song. But you remember "Spit Your Game," that Biggie remix that came out?
Do I?
It was on the Biggie duets. It was after he passed.
Maybe. Is it Spit Your Game
And
Talk Your
Tokyo, that's A
Bro?
Ball. That's A Ball. That's 8 Ball and MJG on there.
That's crazy. Okay. All
Yeah, I
right.
figured that was the one you would know. That's the one that really came out around then. You probably heard Space Age Pimpin'
I was
too.
about to say, I feel like I've heard Space Age Pimpin' somewhere, somehow, some way. Yeah.
Yeah, Lay It Down is another one that's huge. Lay It Down is probably one of the ones that I heard first. I think Lay It Down was probably the first song I heard of theirs. I was like, who is
Mm.
this?
Yeah.
But 8 Ball MJG definitely pioneers. They might have came out first out of all these people we named, to be honest. They might have
Sheesh.
been around the longest because their debut album came out in '93.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're probably they might be some of the first MCs to
Hmm.
really make it out of Memphis. Um, yeah, bro. I think those are the main ones that I want to really shout out. We gotta, and then we can't not throw a couple of the women in here. Gangsta Boo, man.
Gangsta Boo, of
I mean, we
course.
talked about 3 6. She's 3 6 Mafia,
Yeah.
but we gotta throw Gangsta Boo in there because Gangsta Boo was nice.
She
People,
was nice. Fire, bro.
Gangsta Boo could rap for real. Like
R.I.P. to a legend, man.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Gangsta Boo, man, for sure. And then out of the new generation, man, you got Glorilla, man.
Come on.
Glorilla's grown on me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. When she first came out, the name threw me off.
The voice threw me off a little
Voice
bit
threw
too.
me off. The content threw me off. The whole thing.
Yeah.
The more she kept getting better, and I gotta respect artists who keep getting. Every song of hers
Mm.
got better,
Yeah.
and the one that got me, yeah, Glow.
Yeah.
When I first heard that, I said, "All right, I'm in. I'm in. I'm in."
Yeah, man.
Because once she perfected that sound, I was like, yeah. Because
For
she
me,
reminded,
yeah.
I always say on here, she reminded me of Project Pat. They got a similar
Mm.
flow.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. For me, it took me seeing her perform. I think for me, like, of course, artists can have a big record, but until I really see them put it together, I can't really become a fan. Yeah, she got
All
it,
I
bro.
needed was stomp a little up in them shell toes. I don't know why. When I first
Crazy.
heard that song, I was like, okay,
Yeah, man. She's hard. Like she's
yeah,
hard. She
hard,
yeah.
man.
She
I,
probably my favorite Memphis new like acts, probably.
yeah,
Probably.
new act, yeah, for sure. Because I don't even count Key Glock and them as new. They've been out for a minute. I feel like Key Glock been out for
Yeah.
a while.
He been out like maybe since 2017,
Yeah,
2018. Yeah.
that's 8, 9 years. I don't even we can count him as a new act no more at that point.
And he's only 27, which is crazy. So he started early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still real young, man. But yeah, those are the ones that we got to shout out, man. So shout out Memphis, man. We just had to highlight Memphis hip hop. We haven't really done it before, so Memphis
Yeah.
has had a big impact, and a lot of artists right now are trying to sound like Memphis rappers.
They
So
are, bro. You hear it. And that wasn't like always what I would consider the norm. I mean, you hear like a Denzel Curry, like really trying to recapture that 3 6 Mafia horrorcore like sound from the 90s. Like he's really capturing that on his latest project.
mm,
So you hear a lot of Texas rappers are starting to like gravitate towards that Memphis sound as well, man. You hear it. So yeah, I agree.
yeah, man, yeah, man. Um, hip hop is such a dope thing to me. One of the reasons why I love hip hop so much, there are a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is I felt like hip hop connected me with black culture in every other city. Like growing up
Yeah.
in Chicago, before I ever went to New York, I understood. I felt like because of music, I was connected to New York and
Yeah.
black dialect, their slang, the way they dressed out there. Like I was connected through hip hop. Same thing with Memphis. I have never been to. Well, I went to Memphis for like a little conference briefly, but I haven't spent any time in Memphis. But
Hmm.
because of those hip hop artists, I was able to connect with, what I mean? Feel like I
Hmm.
understood a little bit about Memphis. Same
Yeah.
thing with like the West Coast. You know what I mean? Before I went to the West Coast, I felt like I knew a little bit because I heard Snoop, I listened to Ice Cube, I
Yeah.
listened to Dre. So I think, man, that's the beautiful thing about hip hop is we get to kind of connect with black culture in other regions and areas just through music, which is fire.
Which is fire, man. Yeah, is there interconnectivity like through music, bro, that you gotta appreciate. Yeah, and it just made me feel more empowered because you hear so many different stories you hear and you're able to connect with artists, which you feel on a new level. So it helps you kind of come to grips with certain things. Maybe you don't feel comfortable talking about it at home. Maybe you don't feel comfortable talking about it outside of home. You know what I mean? Like so it always resonates for me in that way as well. But the connectivity part is definitely a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And I think that it's hearing those stories of other people and other people from different cultures um,
Mm,
through music
mm,
and hearing the similarities and the differences of what people are going through in different cities. Because if not, a lot of people unfortunately don't get the opportunity to travel. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And then there's a lot of people I know who have never left the Midwest.
Mm,
And
mm.
the most they might some of them might have been to Vegas, maybe, you know what I mean, but there's a lot of
That's
people.
everybody's favorite location, bro.
Everybody's favorite location is Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Everybody want to go to Vegas. You can get a Vegas flight for the low of you during the
Bro,
week.
220.
Oh yeah, round trip.
Spirit.
Yeah, Fat Frontier. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Frontier.
So
Yeah.
I think Vegas is the first place everybody. I know it was one of the first places I went growing up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but if you haven't got to experience some of these other places, I feel like you kind of know what to expect. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Or
Yeah.
you know how people speak. If you listen to Meek Mill, you might be like, oh, okay. I don't know Philly, but I know what a John is.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what a
Exactly.
young bull is. You know what I mean? I heard these terms already in my mind.
Before I ever went to LA, I was crip walking.
I hope you didn't do it when you got to LA.
No, 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 no. We not nah. But yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. You know what I'm, and you know it's wild. This is completely unrelated. There are videos of me, and I just want to put this out here in case these videos ever surface. You know what I mean? I was in talent shows as a kid, a real,
Mm,
real young kid. And let me tell you, man, Chicago does not have Crips. Never
mm,
has. But
mm.
Bow Wow had all the kids Crip walking. There's definitely
So
footage of
wild.
me on a stage at 6, 7 years old, Crip walking on it 100%. 8 years old,
That's
nine,
crazy.
1000%, bro, because Bow Wow was lit.
Yeah, he
He
was,
had all
bro.
us Harlem shaking and Crip walking, bro. Two different whole East coasts. He had us doing both of the dances.
And he ain't from none of them, which is which is crazy. This man from my
Yo,
hometown. We don't
this
do none
man
of
is from
that.
Ohio.
Bro, Columbus, Ohio,
And
East
then moved
Side.
to Atlanta, which is also doesn't have nothing to do with a Harlem Shake or a Crip Walk.
Not a single thing, bro. My
It was
man's
the
was
Snoop Connect.
confused growing up.
It was the Snoop Connect though. He was signed to Death
Yep.
Row.
Yep.
It
Which
was the
is
it was
wild.
I don't know where the Harlem Shake Connect. I don't know where that part came from.
That man made it up as he went, bro.
Hey,
I
bro,
don't
shout
know.
out. We always go back to Bow Wow. I watched Bow Wow interview on Shannon Sharp.
I did too, yeah.
Fire,
Yeah.
man. Man, Bow Wow is a legend. I don't care. I don't
He
care.
is, and he's still cool. I feel like if we met bro in a room, like it would just be good energy, good vibes. Like, you know what I mean? He seemed
Yeah.
down to earth, as down to earth as you can be as a child star. Because then you see the contrast, the Orlando Browns of the world, and you like, this could have went a crazy direction, bro.
Yeah. Oh, bro. That that interview. If y'all haven't seen it, I suggest y'all watch Bow Wow on Shannon Sharp's
Hmm.
podcast. You know Shannon Sharp going through some things, man. So y'all need to, to tap in with his platforms. But watch that Bow Wow interview for sure. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was dope to hear his story because, like I said, my first concert was a little Bow Wow concert. I ain't ashamed to say that. You know, people
Wow.
be fronting on
Yeah.
here. I was like 8 years
Yeah.
old and excited and up in there lit. Because Bow Wow was probably like 13, but
Yeah.
but he was little. So I feel like in my mind, I'm seeing somebody my age up there lit.
Honestly, yeah.
Lit. I had so to me, it was the coolest thing ever to like inspiring to see a kid up there
Yeah.
in a theater, packed out there. It might have been was it All State Arena? It might have been an arena. To be honest.
Dang. That's crazy.
Bro, as a child,
Bro, at 5'1" with it too, bro. Like a
lit.
superstar. Like that's
Super
crazy.
mega star, bro. People in there passing out, literally. Like that's what I'm like. When people like, and the only kid rapper to do that.
Yeah, easily.
There's
The only
never been
one, right?
another. I
Yeah.
mean, there's been other ones who had like shorter career, like Chris Cross. Shout out Chris Cross.
Yeah.
But they were also in the Jermaine Dupri. But yeah, that's the only other one I could think of. There's a kid rapper who had, but they didn't even make it to where Bow Wow took him.
Nah, because
Bow Wow had
Romeo
like
had a
5
run.
platinum albums. Like Bow Wow had a long, successful career.
Yeah, like Romeo had a moment, but like nah, Bow was the top dog for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
As a kid, as a child rapper. Like that's wild.
Yeah, really wild. So I definitely recommend checking out that interview. I don't know how we always end up talking about Bow Wow on here, but this got to be Bow Wow need to check out this channel, bro. Cause
Bruh.
we got to be the biggest Bow Wow supporters in the hip hop community. You feel me?
Especially at this point, I just saw his freestyle too. I saw him freestyle literally an hour before we recorded. So
Really? You got a
this is
freestyle?
low key a Bow Wow fan page a little bit low key, bro. It just somehow we circle back, bro. Yeah, he rapping now. He making new music,
Oh,
man.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know he had no.
It was good. It
Oh,
was
okay.
good.
I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna check it out.
Man,
But yeah,
yeah.
man. Hey, look, another episode, bro. Rapping
Yes,
Reason.
sir.
Yes, sir. Episode 42. Hey, make sure y'all are tapped in with our social media, man. Subscribe on YouTube. Rap and
Yes.
Reason. Make sure y'all are subscribed there. Make sure y'all are following us on Instagram, TikTok at Rap and Reason. And we'll keep giving you all new content, man. Comment under there too. If there's an album y'all want us to review, if there's a topic you all want us to
Mhm.
discuss as far as hip hop or music in general, let us know, man, and we'll try to bring it on the show.
For sure, bro. And who knows? We may interview Bow Wow next week. We'll see. I'm gonna keep y'all locked locked on that one, man.
Oh man, y'all gotta blow this channel up, man, so we can get
Yeah,
Bow on here, so he know, man. We like there are people who realize his impact.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, hey, stay tapped in, man. Episode 42. We out.
We out.